Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a jolly Christmas, and today I'm going to read you a story. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by legendary author Dr. Seuss. Thank you. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every who, down Whoville, liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. Also known as Mount Crumpet. The Grinch hated Christmas. The whole Christmas season. Now please, don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. Or it could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's. Staring down from his cave with a grinchy frown, I've waited at the warm light windows below in their town, for he knew every who down Whoville, every who down Whoville beneath was busy hanging mistletoe wreath, and they're hanging their stockings. He snored with a sneer. Tomorrow's Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew. All the Who but girls and boys will wake bright and early. They rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise. Then the Who's young and old will sit down to a feast. And they are feast. And they feast. And they feast. And they feast. They will feast on Who pudding. And rare Who roast beast. Which was something the Grinch could stand at least. And then they do something they like. And then they do something like he liked least of all. Liked it all. Every Who down Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing, and they stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. And they sing. And they sing. And they sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas thing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years, I put it all now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? And then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. He made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat, and he chuckled, and he clapped. What a great Grinchy trick! With his coat, and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. Ho ho ho! All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since the reindeer are scarce, but there was none to be found. That did stop the old Grinch. No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. And he took some red thread and he turned a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramsicle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Get up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay snooze in their out town. All the windows were dark, quiet snow filled in the air. All the Who's were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first house on the square, "This is the stop number 1," the old Grinchy claus hissed. And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a right top pitch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once. For a moment or two, he stuck his head out in the fireplace. Flew where the little Who's stockings hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go." Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant all around the whole room. He took every present: popcorn guns and bicycles, roller skates and drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. And then he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. Then he took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, like that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then we stuff off all the food up the chimney. Hold the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff off the tree." And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started down to shove when he heard a small noise, sounded the coo of a dove. He turned around fast. He saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who. Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know that old Grinch, so smart, he sick up like a lie. He died up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied. "There's a light on the street that won't work. One light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up here, there. Then I'll bring it back here." And then he fed the child. Then he patted her head and got her a drink. And he sent her back to bed when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup. And he went to the chimney and stuffed up the tree. At last thing he took was the log for that fire. Then he went up to the chimney himself, the old liar. On the walls he left nothing but the hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for other Who's mouses. It was quarter past dawn. All the Who's still in bed. All the Who's were still asleep. When he packed up his set and packed it up with their presents and ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings and trappings. 3,000 feet up, 1,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumbit, he rode with his load on the top of the drum to dump it, Pooh, pooh, to the Who's. He was grinchiously humming. They find out that there was no Christmas coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang up open for a minute or two. All the Who's down Whoville will cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I must simply must hear. So he paused. And the Grinch put his hand on his ear to his ear. He did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started to roll, then started to grow. But the sound wasn't said. Once the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be. But it was merry, very. Stared down at Whoville, the Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook when he saw a shocking surprise. Every Who down at Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without presents at all. He had stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. The Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, so pleasant, how could so be? It came out with It came without ribbons. It came out without tags. It came out without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled 3 hours, still a puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they said that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart felt quite so tight, he whistled with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Thank you. I hope you joined the story time with me, everybody, with the Grinch. Have you seen the cartoon 2D, the live action movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, played by Jim Carrey, and the reboot 2018 Grinch movie? Thank you. Good luck.